Dan dan dan. Dan dan dan. Dan dan dan. Dan dan dan. You are now listening to Uncut and Unbothered, where no feelings were coddled in the making of this episode. Did you like that? Like to think that shit kind of sounded a little good. Well, welcome to the show. I am BL Lewis. Wow, fucking up my name in the first one. BL Lewis. BL Lewis. And this is my official show. As you see, I have a nice little setup here. Very happy to be here. It has taken a lot of work. And I am just proud of myself for pushing through and doing things that I really did not care to do. Uh, not saying I don't care about the show, but it's kind of like alcohol. Like I don't really like to drink, but being drunk's kind of fun, right? So it's kind of a means to an end. Nevertheless, welcome to the show, Uncut and Unbothered, where no feelings were coddled in the making of this episode, because we don't give a damn. And by we, I'm not talking about the viewers. I'm not talking about my friends. I'm talking about me and like the 17 other people that live inside my body. We're in a safe space. I'm just kidding. Uh, but yeah. So I'm sure you're asking, what is this about? What's the purpose of this? I'm making sure I'm recording because this is something very new, obviously, and I don't want to like screw up like I've already done like 50 times before doing this take. Uh, but what's this channel about? Well, this channel is about current events. I'll be talking about things from like news, true crime, pop culture, anything in the Afrosphere. If you haven't noticed, I am. Please don't tell anybody. Shh. Um, so things in Afrosphere. I'll talk about white people too. I like white people too. I like Mexicans. Shout out to Mexicans. I have to do an annual shout out to Mexicans. My favorite Mexican is Karina. So if you're listening to this randomly, Karina, I love you and your family, man. Shout out to you, your husband, your beautiful baby Noah. He's the shit. And the new baby on the way. Yeah. Um, but I gotta give my annual shout out to Mexicans. Yo, people who don't like Mexicans, like fuck you, because Mexicans are great. They make great food. They're fun to party with. And they're good people, man. They work hard. You know what I mean? Like, you want some shit, taken care of, they're gonna get busy. So, and I know it kind of sounds like I'm living on stereotypes. I'm like riding the nuts of Mexicans, but I don't know, man. Maybe I had some like cold ass elote the other day, cold in a good way, and very happy about it. So shout out to Mexicans. But anyway, so this channel I'll talk about sports, paranormal, stuff like ghosts and crazy stuff like aliens. I know that's a huge topic of discussion lately. Aliens, they are among us. Get your tinfoil hats. But yeah, so stuff like that. To answer another question that you're probably asking, why did I start this channel? Right? Of all the things that I have done and all the things that I can do, if you can't tell, I'm ADD. 1 minute I'm a fucking photographer. The next minute I am a musician. The next minute I am, I don't know, an actor. The next minute I'm a personal trainer. All right, I am legit diagnosed. So if you got a problem with it, pick one and suck it. Uh, but um, why did I start this channel? Well, to be honest, that's a dumbass question. Okay. I started this channel because I want to make money, right? I'm tired of working for the man, right? Whoever that is, because the boss. But I'm tired of working for the fucking man. Um, I'd like to be able to do this, create things that you guys would like actually like to watch, and then make some money off of it so that eventually we can make that money. I can, move us out to the middle of nowhere, which we both want. Shout out to smoking my wife, Sierra. Um, we can move to the middle of nowhere and like fall off the planet. And then, maybe 10, 15 years, you can catch us on an episode of My 600-Pound Life. Because by then we will have stopped going outside, interacting with people, and dealing with your shit. So, yeah. Uh, real talk. Like, I'm trying to get paid. But also I like to entertain. As you can see, I play a lot. Despite looking like I will crush your head. which I would, but no. But nevertheless, that's why I started this channel. Um, Now, what's funny about this is I'm sitting here looking. So there's all kinds of stuff I had to do to like set this up. And if you're interested in starting this channel, and you're looking for some pointers and some tips, I suggest you ask somebody else because I'm not giving you shit. This took a long time for me to set this up, so I'm not helping you. So if you want to start a channel, I suggest you do what I do, what I did, and what Sierra did, and go fucking find the answers. But on that note, let's get to some of the topics today. I'm not going to spend too much time on introductions. So yeah, let's do it how it's going to be done. And as time goes on, I'll be able to add some bells and whistles, and do some kind of cool things. But as of right now, this is like fucking 1.0. I'm a caveman. So I got my sticks and stones and fire, and you better be happy you got that. All right. So let's get to the first topic. Okay, so first topic. Before I get started, as you noticed, I have switched to sunglasses. Don't like what my eyeballs are doing there. Look like a variation of a catfish or maybe Garfield the cartoon. Uh, I don't know, but it's looking pretty messed up. But I did find it to be something very, very important to talk about today. Um, I'll talk about some other things, but I can't not stop and talk about this, the passing of this cultural icon. Um, and so today we have found out that um, former Cosby show star Malcolm Jamal Warner has passed away at 54 years old. It was allegedly a swimming accident. He was out in Costa Rica on a family vacation, and he drowned. Actually, I just explained all of it because I'm a dumbass. But let me go ahead and play the clip so that you can see it yourself.
And we do have some breaking news to report, and it's extremely sad. Malcolm Jamal Warner, the actor most famous for his role as Bill Cosby's son, Theodore Huxtable, on the NBC hit sitcom The Cosby Show in the 80s and early 90s, has died. Police say he drowned off the coast of Costa Rica yesterday while vacationing with his family. Warner was born in New Jersey and raised by his mother, who enrolled him in acting school. His role on The Cosby Show earned him an Emmy nomination in 1986. And then after The Cosby Show, Warner went on to direct and produce multiple television shows while playing music and writing poetry. Malcolm Jamal Warner was 54 years old. And we do have some...
Man. So let me stop and say this because this is a very, very serious deal. Um, my condolences to his family. Um, this is just super untimely. 54 years old. He was young. I was on his Instagram today, just like looking at videos and seeing like what he was up to. Very vibrant. Like, dude makes music. Uh, just seemed like a guy who had a lot of fun. Very talented in so many different areas, and it's just incredibly unfortunate. Holds a special place in my heart, just growing up as a kid, and even still to this day, like when my kids do some dumb shit, like I think about Theo Huxtable. Like, which one of these guys is gonna be, coming up with some crazy like head brain scheme, to go do something that he thinks makes sense and it doesn't. Um, which one of my kids is gonna be, Theo as a teenager. Um, it's just a really unfortunate thing, and it's for a fact that this was just one of those untimely freak accidents, because the guy is young, healthy, he looks great. You've seen some of the people from the past, those sitcoms. Some of them don't fare too well. They're older, and you can tell. But he was a very vibrant young guy, still, making moves in the industry, and it's incredibly unfortunate. And I don't want to focus just on the sad part of this, right? Because it is incredibly sad. But I want to stop and point out something that people are not
talking about in this situation. This guy was a freaking legend. And I'm not just saying that because he died, but he's a freaking legend. He was a jack of all trades. Like when we think of jack of all trades, there's so many other guys that cross over in the industry. They go from one, area to the other. Will Smith, was a rapper and then he goes over to film. But Malcolm Jamal Warner has crossed over into so many different lanes and we didn't even know about. I don't know if you know this or not, but this guy has a Grammy with Robert Glasper, who's like arguably one of the greatest musicians of all time and one of the greatest living musicians today. He has a Grammy with him. Also, and I wanted to look up some facts and see what are some cool things about Malcolm Jamal Warner that we don't know about. Well, one, this dude he was also a producer. Like he wrote episodes for not only The Fresh Prince, but also Keenan and Kel. He also wrote. Let me see. There was something else, and forgive me. Like I said, I'm ADD, so my memory is like trash. Oh, Malcolm and Eddie. Of course, it was him and Eddie Griffin. And I know I gotta watch Eddie Griffin's conversation on this, and I know he's probably devastated. He's a real one. We seen him. What was it last year? Live, and he was absolutely. I mean, he's one of the kings. Never mind that garbage lineup, kings of comedy. Like, no, Eddie's one of the kings. But I know he's probably devastated. But there's some more fun facts. Let me see what we got here. One of the things I didn't know about him is he was nominated for an Emmy at 16 for his role in Theo. One of the things is his role helped to normalize portrayals of middle class black families. And that was what, played a part in him winning and, being nominated for an Emmy. And let's just stop. Cosby Show. I'm upset that we don't get to watch the Cosby Show because people who don't watch the Cosby Show anyway canceled it. How the fuck are you going to cancel a show you didn't watch? So I've got a problem with this. Like, I'm sorry, like cancel culture. I'm mad they canceled Roseanne. They try to say she was being racist. She wasn't being racist. That lady does look like a monkey. And you could be mad at me for saying it, but go Google. And I'm not trying to bring this shit up, but go Google fucking Valerie Jarrett, man. She looks like the chick from Planet of the Apes. And that's what Roseanne said. But because Roseanne's not black, that was racist. But they shouldn't have canceled her, right? Because that was bullshit. There are plenty of comedians who said worse. And if you don't know who Roseanne is, then why would you cancel her, right? Her humor was raunchy and fucked up anyway. So, and I love it. So I love Roseanne Barr. But that was her humor anyway. So y'all got mad, didn't get it and cancel her. But let's go back to the Cosby Show. Bill Cosby, right? Okay. So, I think they set him up. Do I think he was cheating on his wife? Absolutely. But nevertheless, what does that have to do with everybody else on the show? He was just one character. Sure, it was named after him, but he was just one character. And the episodes didn't always just focus on him. There was episodes that followed Theo, that followed Claire, that followed, all the other characters. Rudy. What was the sister's name? I'm asking a question like anybody's going to tell me. Vanessa. Thank you, Intuition. Vanessa. But yeah, like, why did y'all cancel that? I want to enjoy the Cosby Show like I used to be able to. Put that on YouTube. Put that on YouTube. Because, the people who canceled it were people who didn't watch the Cosby Show anyway. They didn't get the same value that black families got for generations. Like, the Cosby Show is in line with, like, Michael Jackson, right? Every generation of black folks plays the Cosby Show for their kids. Give us back the Cosby Show. And, if we have to do this on the back of Malcolm Jamal Warner passing away, then, I'm pretty sure he would be happy that his, one of his biggest works, gets to be brought back to life and keep him alive. I just think that's trash that they did that. Let's just see. What else? He graduated from the Professional Children's School in New York. Chose not to go wild with the fame. Instead, he spent his adult life focusing on intentional, uplifting roles, often turning down work that doesn't align with his values. Basically, Malcolm Jamal Warner was a real one. There's so many people that get put in compromising situations, and then, um, you know, people want to be, cheer them on for that. Like, a dude who like does not want to wear a dress. They're like, he's more masculine because he wore a dress in a movie, and it's like, okay, he didn't want to do that, or maybe he did. But I just respect the ones that say no, like the Denzel Washington, the guys who's like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Doesn't align with who I am as a human being. Fuck this actor movie shit, this celebrity shit. Fuck all that. It doesn't align with who I am. I respect him for doing that. So I appreciate that. He's that kind of guy. Um, he was still making, TV shows. I didn't know this, which I mean, I guess I could kind of assume that 9 times out of 10, most black dudes named Malcolm, probably named after Malcolm X, but he was. And he was also named after Ahmad Jamal, the jazz pianist, who I actually had to listen to. Because I bet you he's probably cold. He has one of those names, like, dudes in jazz named Ahmad, like, them niggas be cold. Especially Ahmad Jamal, right? That's gonna be the blickety blackest jazz. It's gonna be the shit. Um, Something else I found: his mom was his manager. Shout out to Miss Pamela Warner, and once again, I am incredibly sorry for your loss. But she was his manager, and she's the one to help him like steer him through the industry. And then you have to think about how many kids get caught up in that weird child um you know, child star thing where they like grow up these sensational stars and then they like crash in their 20s and like, by the end of the life they're, a heroin prostitute. Like it's just fucked up. She steered him away from that. So like shout out to uh Miss Warner for doing so. I've seen a couple of other like black moms in the industry. Shout out to black mom. Shout out to my mom. But my grandmother too. Hey Lou, even though she does not know how to work YouTube, and she will never see this episode. My mom will though. But yeah, there's a couple. I know when I watched that like Nickelodeon thing where like all the kids are getting like fondled by that fat white dude. Um, the black moms, like most of them, like yeah, nah, like I wasn't letting my kids, fucking undress and lather up in green slime and sit in that guy's lap while like the other parents are like, you know, we didn't think he was up to it. You know, he had a foot fetish. We know he liked to hang out with our kid alone and, take him all across town and get on an airplane and take him across, but we didn't suspect him of being a fucking creep. Okay. um, Other fun fact, he was a bass guitarist. Apparently he was a beast, man. They say he's been playing since he was a teenager and he's in his 50s, so I would imagine he was pretty good. I don't know somebody who's been playing for majority of their life and they're still trash. I know some people who just started who were trash. I know some people stopped for a long time, and pick it back up. It's trash. Kind of like me with the saxophone. I used to play sax. I tried to play it not too long ago. I was like, let's put that back where it belongs, under the fucking house. Um, Something else that was huge. Well, yeah, he did black theater. That's pretty big. He was an advocate for mental health and black masculinity. I appreciate that. He, was big on black fatherhood, therapy. He seemed like a really cool guy. So I'm actually really sad about this. Also, this is super big, very, very big. And actually, I'm gonna say that for the last one. I keep saying that. I feel like Trump. This is super big. It's the biggest thing that you will ever hear, and I'm the one that created it. It was me. Shout out to Trump. Hey, I don't care if you like him, man. He's the funniest president. I thought Joe Biden was funny too. Yeah, I thought it was funny too. And it's kind of messed up, right? But he was funny in the sense that like I knew there were times where he was up there and he had no fucking clue what was going on. So he's just like up there, just full blown having a moment, and they're like, and here goes Joe Biden, and he stands up at the podium, and he's looking around like, fuck are all these people? What am I? Why am I the speaker? Where the suit come from? I like it, but where the suit come from? Who are these fucking people? And you turn around and he's like, and I got my best friend here, and he turns and shakes, a ghost's hand and then turns it back. Oh, it was funny. It was that by far was I think the him versus Trump, the debates like that, man, that was funny. And I'll tell you, they were wrong. Like whoever put him up there, Democratic Party, whoever put him up there, they didn't give a fuck about it. Let's be honest, because I wouldn't put my family member up there. I wouldn't put my homeboy up there. Like that's like like say for like I've got buddies that work in school systems that work in like higher education, and if I knew we had just got like blasted together, I'm talking about like Miami just fucked up. I'm not gonna like let that dude go, a couple hours later to do a speaking engagement in front of thousands of people, right? Because we might as well consider that. Joe Biden very obviously had dementia. That wasn't cool, man. Like Democratic Party, like y'all deserve to be slapped for that. That just wasn't cool. Like I felt bad for him in that he got up there, and he just didn't know where he was. So that was a really sad thing. I wouldn't have done that. Like y'all could have put anybody else up there and then just be like, hey, look, we're sorry, man. Like health happens. He's old as hell. It was what it was. But don't put him up there and like, no, he's fine. And like looking around like, never seen this room in my life. Sitting in the Oval Office like, where'd you guys get these pictures from? How did you get pictures of me in here? What? It was fucked up. How did I get on Biden and Trump? Oh yeah, I was acting like Trump. Okay. Malcolm Jamal Warner. Let's get back. Welcome to the mind of ADD. He narrated audiobooks, which I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, it says, his voice is smooth like jazz and powerful like a sermon. He lent his voice to audiobooks and documentaries, adding depth and authenticity to Black storytelling. That's tight, man. That's super hard. I'm a book reader. I got a big old box over there of books. I got books. Well, I got a bookshelf. I've transitioned to Kindle, so there's that. But yeah, so I'm a big reader. I don't like audiobooks much. I feel like that's cheating. But I do respect him doing the audiobook thing because I get it. There's some people who have, conditions like, they can't read. There's some people who, that they, maybe can read, but there's some kind of like intellectual disability or something. I'm trying to remember what I seen in forums when I was arguing with people on Facebook saying it's cheating because they're like, book count. How many books did you read this year? And then there's some of us like, yeah, I read like, 30 to 50. And then there's, this fucking dweeb that comes in and it's like, I read 500. It's like, how'd you do that? Through audiobook. Reading and listening are two different neural pathways, like two different skills. Sorry, it's not the same. But I'm not shit talking you guys if you like audiobooks. Because you know what? Get it how you get it. Different strokes for different folks. Some people like to eat their noodles with spoons. Other people are not stupid. Do what you do. I'm sorry. I had to just shit on you. No feelings were coddled in the making of this episode. Last but not least, I will say this. Something that most celebrities cannot say. He was never. Let me go back. All right. Let me make it dramatic. All right. Something that most celebrities cannot say. He was never involved in a major scandal. Holy shit. This guy's been in the game for decades. No, even Bill Cosby, his dad, on TV, of course, was involved in a scandal. Even Felicia Rashad, she wasn't like really like the culprit of the scandal, but there's been some controversy with like her, Howard, and I want to say it was like politics or something. Oh, no, no, no. It's her telling women like, hey, don't show your vagina in public and you might get a husband. Like even people are, I mean, I guess you can consider that would you consider that a scandal? I don't know. But I know people have not been pissed off at Theo like they're pissed off at, you know, everybody else. Um, but yeah, he's never been involved in a major scandal. So I think that's pretty cool. Um, speaks volumes because it's kind of hard, man. I question, like, we're doing this. Say this platform blows up, right? I'm going to speak it into existence. I'm going to have uh 18 trillion followers on YouTube next week. Stay tuned. Say this thing blows up, right? I'm making it so that I can say what I want, and my perspective to some will be like, well, he's kind of a loose cannon already, right? Not necessarily a loose cannon, but he kind of says what he wants. And I feel like there's people who set the precedence for that. They get a pass, right? Comedians get a pass for the most part. Um, so I'm trying to set that standard because the last thing I want is to, like, you know, reach the heights of success and then lose it all because I say something like mad inappropriate. It's something like slips out of my mouth. I'm like, one of those old family members that you can't really take everywhere because it might come out. you know, Black folks and white folks, y'all can relate to this. That old, like, and I'm not racist, but that like old racist family member, you take them out and you just so happen to be walking to an event and it's here. he looks around, the old man looks around, it's like, why are they here? Right? I'm like that guy minus the racism. You just don't know. And I'm good. I won't say I'm a loose cannon. I have a tendency these days to think before I say something, but I will say what I want to say. And if I really feel compelled to say it, I'll say it. That's just what it is. But on that, I'm about to wrap this thing up here. I will say I am truly grateful to have been able to see and experience Malcolm Jamal Warner, to be able to watch the shows that he was a part of, which were major shows. I don't know if I even mentioned that he also wrote for Keenan and Kel. 90s kids. Come on. Who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda. Is it true? Yes. I do. I don't know if he wrote that line, but I'm gonna give him credit. Yeah, Kel might have made that shit up. But nevertheless, like, this dude, heavyweight, Fresh Prince, The Cosby Show, Keenan and Kel, like heavyweight, and he was still doing stuff. I also heard his music. His music is good. It's just so sad, and never mind the artist. Let's put the artist aside. The human being. We lost a beautiful human being today. And a real tragedy. If he had kids, and I'm not sure if he had kids. Let me see if he had kids. Did Malcolm Jamal Warner have kids? That didn't do what I wanted it. Yes. Oh, man. He's got a young kid, too. Dude. Oh, man. Oh. He's got a little girl. I believe she's 8 years old. Damn. That's sad. To think about, like, I look at situations like that and I'm a dad, right? And I just think about, the friends I've lost who are parents, and I think about my own mortality and just, what kind of impact that leaves on a child. It sucks, man. to his daughter, I'm really, really sorry you're having to experience life so early. I think about the day, that's gonna happen with my folks and my grandparents, and I remember before my great grandmother passed away, I remember thinking, like, I'm gonna hate when she leaves this planet. Because she was such a beautiful person. Right. And I think about all those family members and I'm like, I'm gonna hate when that happens. And it's gonna happen one day. And the impact just has such a major impact. So on these, I'm so sorry to his daughter and to his family. Um, Malcolm Jamal Warner, thank you for your contribution, not only to the entertainment industry, but your contribution to all the black people in America who grew up watching the content that you were a part of. Because for us, it was more than just TV. It was culture. It shaped the way we moved, shaped the way we thought. It influenced our mind. It lived in our minds rent free. And so I thank you for that. But on this note, or on that note, this has been Uncut and Unbothered, where no feelings were coddled during the making of this episode. Please like, subscribe, and follow, or whatever the fuck you want to do. But just, yeah, thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys when I do this shit again. See ya.